Chapter 2. Just Say Right. After school pictures, we went back to room 9. I put my head down on my table. There's no such thing as monsters. There's no such thing as monsters, I whispered to just myself. 'Cause my very own daddy told me that, and he wouldn't even lie to me. Probably. Mrs. said for me to sit up in my chair. She passed out work for us to do. It was called printing our letters. Only I didn't actually feel like doing that. I tapped on my bestest friend named Lucille. Guess what, Lucille? There's no such thing as monsters. There's really, really not. And so a monster doesn't even live under my bed, probably. Right, Lucille? Right? Right? Shh! I'm doing my letters, she said. Yes, Lucille, I know you're doing your letters, only I just wanted to tell you about the monster because he's not even real, right? Lucille did not say right. How come you're not saying right, Lucille? Just say right, okay? Just say monsters aren't real and I won't even bother you anymore. And all of a sudden, Lucille did a mad breath at me. Now look what you made me do, Junie B. You made me ruin my big G. I told you not to bother me. She quick grabbed her paper and run to Mrs. to fix it. I tapped my fingers on my table. Then I turned around and looked behind me. I smiled at a boy named Crybaby William. Guess what, William? There's no such thing as monsters, and so a monster doesn't even live under my bed, probably, right? William? Right? Right? William moved his seat away from me. I followed him in my chair. I'm right, don't you think, William? A monster really doesn't live under my bed, does he? Plus also, he doesn't put my head in his mouth. William slided his chair away some more, and I scooted after him. Just say right, okay, William? Just say there's not a monster under my bed, and I will be on my way. William picked up his chair. He carried it all the way to the middle of the floor. And that's how come I had to carry my chair to the middle of the floor, too. I sat down and smiled very sweet. Right, William? I'm right, aren't I said. Only too bad for me, 'cause just then I felt hands on my shoulders. I looked up. It was Mrs. I did a gulp. Gulp. Hello. How are you today? I said, kind of nervous. Mrs. zoomed my chair back to my table. It was not fun. I quick picked up my pencil. Yeah, guess what? I'm going to do my work now, I said. Plus also, I'm not even going to talk, 'cause I don't actually like anyone in this area. Mrs. tapped her foot at me. Love your shoes, I said real soft. Her foot kept tapping. Only just then a very great thing happened, and it is called the bell rang for the end of school, and I hurried up out the door. Then me and my other bestest friend named Grace run to the bus together. Grace, guess what? There's no such thing as monsters, and so I don't even have one under my bed probably, right, Grace, right? That Grace did not say right. And that's how come I grabbed her by the shoulders and I jiggled her and I jiggled her, 'cause I was fed up with these people, and that's why. How come you won't say right, Grace? How come nobody will say right? 'Cause I'm getting at the end of my rope here with this thing. That Grace took my hands off of her. I can't say right because a monster really might live under your bed, Junie B, she said. My eyes got big and wide at her. No, Grace, no, do not say that. Do not say a monster might live under my bed, 'cause that cannot even be true, or else I would have spotted that guy by now. No, you wouldn't, she said. My big sister said that monsters can turn themselves invisible when you look at them, and so that's how come nobody ever sees them. That Grace looked serious at me. That makes sense, don't you think? Huh, Junie B? Right? And just then my throat got dry and my stomach got the shakies. I looked out the window very upset, and I did not say right. Chapter 3, The Invisiblest Guy. I ran in my house and I hollered for my Grandma Helen Miller. Grandma Miller, Grandma Helen Miller, I am so glad to be home, 'cause today was not a very good day at my school. Grandma Miller was in the kitchen. She was holding my baby brother named Ollie. I jumped up and down in front of her. Pick me up, pick me up, pick me up. Can't right now, Toots, she said. I've got my hands full with Ollie. Yeah, only put him down on the floor, I said, 'cause I need a hug down here, Helen. Did you ever call your grandmother by her name? Grandma Miller leaned down and hugged me, and she said, Don't call me Helen. Why don't you go change your clothes, she said. Then you and I will make some popcorn, and you can tell me all about your day. How does that sound? Just then, my whole face got happy because popcorn is my most favorite thing in the whole wide world. Hooray! I shouted, hooray for popcorn. I ran right to my room. Then I took off my shoes and socks, and my feet did a happy dance on the floor, and it was called the Happy Feet Popcorn Dance. They danced round and around. Also, they jumped on my bed, and they spring to the floor, and they did a giant twirly on my rug. I clapped my hands real joyful. Grandma! Hey, Grandma! Guess what? I am having a good time in here, and so I am not even thinking about the monster under my bed. And just then I did a gulp. 'Cause I shouldn't have said that, I think. I looked at my bed, kind of nervous. What if the monster was under there right this very minute? And what if he was looking at my piggy toes? And what if he wanted to eat them? Oh, no, I said. Oh, no, oh, no, oh, no, 'cause piggy toes like that look just like little wiener sausages, I think. I freezed right where I was standing. Grandma Miller, come quick, I need you, I shouted. Grandma Miller flied to my room. Then she picked me up and she hugged me real tight. What on earth is the trouble? She asked. She sat down with me on my bed. No, Grandma, no, 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 we cannot sit here. I squeezed out of her arms and ran out my door. There's a monster under my bed, I yelled. I jumped up and down. Run, Helen, run like the wind. Only Grandma Helen Miller did not run. She just flopped back on my covers and she closed her eyes. No, Junie B, please. We are not going to go through this monster business again, are we? We've talked about monsters before, remember? We decided that there are no such thing as monsters. Yeah, but I have new information, I said, 'cause the monster under my bed turns himself invisible whenever we look at him. Plus, at night, after my eyes are closed, he climbs next to me and he puts my head in his mouth. Grandma Miller did a big breath. Then she went to the kitchen and she brought back my daddy's flashlight. She shined it under my bed. No monster, Junie B. None. I don't see one single monster under this bed, she said. See, I said. That proves it, Grandma. He turned himself invisible. Grandma Miller shook her head. No, Junie B. The monster did not turn himself invisible. The monster is simply not there. He does not exist. Period. Oh, yes, he does, Grandma. He does too exist, 'cause Polly Allen Puffer's big brother even said so. Plus, also, I've seen the drool. Grandma Miller said to calm down my voice, and she got me a drink of water. Why don't we forget about the monster for now, and we'll go make popcorn? You can talk to your mother about this when she gets home. I bet Mother will know exactly what to do. I thought and thought. Well, what, Grandma? What will she do? I asked. Then all of a sudden, a light bulb went on in my head. Hey, I know what she'll do. Mother will get the broom and bash the monster's head in, 'cause I saw her do that to a roach before, and she is excellent at it. Grandma Miller closed her eyes again, and she said, I am a strange one.